Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, one and all. I have to do this video on my phone because lo and behold, my internet is still not where it needs to be. I made a phone call to a different internet provider this morning. They will be out Friday afternoon. Um, so, um, Sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, so new internet will be provided on Friday afternoon. So I'm hoping to be back to streaming either Friday night or Saturday afternoon via gaming. I did a 13, I think clocked in at like 13 minutes last night. Of course, internet cut out. There's a hardwire issue, so instead of going with coax cable, I'm going to be doing fiber optics through a different provider. Numerous people have told me that that seems to be the better route. That's the route I'm going. An overdue video for you guys. I was supposed to do my divisional breakdowns a couple of weeks ago. A lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. I'm really not liking I love the bay windows behind me, but it's not really helping. The lighting is absolutely horrible. Give me one quick second, guys. I apologize. Let me move around over here. There we go. I just kind of feel like it's better. There we go. There's this massive glare coming in on the thing. So let's see if I can't. Hang on. That's the only problem doing this from my phone is I'm a little bit. There we go. That's okay. That's a lot better. Okay, perfect. So in the midst of the last couple of weeks, I've been busy. We settled and closed on our former home last night or yesterday afternoon. So now we can start getting our new home together. Also had the ICGMA Awards this past weekend, which I did make a video apologizing for why my plan was to have a lot of coverage of the ICGMAs. Things went awry this weekend. I'm not going to go into detail about it because I'm not out to air dirty laundry, if you will. But that's why there was no coverage. And again, I do apologize for that because that was a huge thing to me. But like I said, not going to go into the details on that. I am, however, going to break down division by division. Like I said, this video was supposed to be up a couple weeks ago, but you know what? Life happens. Things happen. You know what? We all move on, right? So we're going to break down the AFC East, and how I'm going to do this is just kind of discuss what I call the ceiling and the floor. Ceiling is what I think they're going to do as far as the best that they're going to do this year record-wise. The floor is going to be the least amount. All right. So like I said, I hate recording on my phone with this kind of thing, but like I said, with my internet still down, like I said, that should be rectified come Friday afternoon because like I said, I'm going with a different provider. So let's see what happens. So in the AFC East, I debated how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go from worst to best. I'm just going to start at the top, work my way down. I've got the Buffalo Bills winning the division this year. I think Buffalo, as long as Josh Allen stays healthy, I think the Bills can really do some damage. What Buffalo lacks is in the playoffs, specifically if they run into Kansas City. It just doesn't end well. I fully think the Bills should have won the AFC Championship last year. I think there were a couple of botched calls there at the end of the game. You know, I don't work for the NFL. I don't work for ESPN. I don't work for anything like that, so I can't change any of that. But like I said, the Bills, as their ceiling, I have them at 13-4. Again, just because I feel they're one of the best teams in the AFC. Their ceiling, I have at 11-6. I think Buffalo has the tendency to lose games they should win, and that's where the 11-6 comes into play. Like I said, and I'm just doing this for fun. I haven't done this before as far as division breakdowns and things like that. But like I said, I want to try something different this year. Why not? Finishing in second, I've got the Miami Dolphins. I have their ceiling at 9-8. I think Buffalo runs away with this division just because overall it's a fairly weak division. The other three teams, Miami is probably, I borderline put New England on them as well, because New England, which we'll talk about New England here in just a minute, but New England showed a lot of signs of life last year. But like I said, Miami, you got Tua coming back. Everybody knows, Tua is a concussion waiting to happen. I don't know if it was last year, it might have been the year before. He had that really scary concussion where like even his fingers were like doing this kind of thing, and it was really a terrifying thing to witness. Miami again. And like I said, I probably should be a little bit better prepared for this. I guess I'm recording this morning on a whim. I've only been up for about an hour. I have to actually run to the bank this morning, drop off our closing check, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So like I said, I didn't really make any notes for this. 69 trucks. Hello to you as well. I have nothing. Actually, I do have something great. So, excuse me. I have Miami ceiling at 9-8. But actually, is that even 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? Yeah, it's 17. I was like, wait a minute. Is that even 17 games? But yeah. What do you do? But I have the ceiling at 8-9. I think they're really going to kind of hover on that plateau. It's going to really come down to if Tua can stay healthy or not. That's going to be their big thing with that. Like I said, it's just I think Tua is literally one or two concussions away from the end of his career. Because, I mean, like I said, this guy has got, Oreo Motion. Don't necessarily need to spam hi. I saw you the first time. I welcome people wanting to check. Okay, you. Okay, hang on. Sorry, guys. Every now and then you get spam. Like I said, I don't deal with spam. So, but yeah, like I said, I really think that Miami it hinges upon what Tua does and what Tua is going to be capable of. Oh, I was like, am I frozen? But no, I'm. Well, my phone, everything's in the green, so that's good. Next up, I got the New England Patriots. I have them. The Patriots are improving. They fired Gerard Mayo after only one season, which was a little bit of a surprise. But this guy, what's his name? Mike Vrabel, pretty decent head coach, became available after the Titans fired him. New England was quick to scoop him up, which I think was a fantastic hire. Mike Vrabel played on numerous Super Bowl teams for New England. Despite the fact he didn't do that great in Tennessee, he did. It's one of those things that, a player's experience, a player's, hiring an ex-player is also very beneficial because you know what? Vrabel can teach a lot of these young kids, the Drake Mays, what's his name? Will Johnson. I know they're new offensive tackle. I think they picked up in the draft. His name eludes me at the moment. I have their ceiling a little high. I have them finishing up at 7-10 as their ceiling. Their floor, I've got them at 5-12. Again, seeing Drake May, really, evolve the way he did last year, was something special to see. They picked up Stephon Diggs, which I think is a crucial, wide receiver number one. And I think if Stephon Diggs and Drake May can gel, I think that offense can be a little bit potent. The only problem is, they're playing in a division against Buffalo where, that's my cats. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, they have got they've got the tools. Like I said, I don't think they're not going to get to the playoffs, this year, but I do think if they keep trajecting the way they are, give it a couple years and you'll see New England back in the playoffs as a wild card. Rounding out the AFC East, you got the New York Jets. This team, I'm telling you, this is kind of a team that the last couple of years mired in a lot of controversy. Obviously, the big story here: Aaron Rodgers no longer with the team. He went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which he's pretty much alluded to. It's going to be his last year. I'll discuss that more in depth when we get to the AFC North and we talk about Pittsburgh. Justin Fields comes over from Pittsburgh to become the new starter in New York, which I think is going to be a beneficial move. Aaron Rodgers, 2 years with the Jets, very, very mediocre at best. His first season, he played 4 snaps before he ruptured his Achilles tendon and was out for the year. And last year, more negative than positive when it comes to that. It comes down to, I think Justin Fields is an upgrade for them at quarterback. Garrett Wilson just signed a major extension. Sauce Gardner, their all-pro cornerback, just signed a lucrative deal as well. The Jets have playmakers. It's just a matter of they just don't have anybody at the helm. They moved on from Robert Saleh during the year, which coincidingly was because of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't like the way that he coached, so he basically, he pulled his Aaron Rodgers card. Ended up getting the guy fired, which I thought was a crock of crap. But now we have Aaron Glenn at the helm, who flat out said he was not going to put up with Aaron Rodgers' bullshit, and he moved quickly on that because they didn't bother to re-sign him. So I think at the end of the day, it was a smart move on the Jets' part. Like I said, what's going to be very interesting is the Jets and Steelers meet in week 1 of the NFL season. It'll be the first time in NFL history that 2 quarterbacks that were on the other team will face off in week 1 of an NFL season. Justin Fields started week 1 for the Steelers last year. Aaron Rodgers started for the Jets in week 1. A little bit, obviously Aaron's going to be starting as the Steelers quarterback. So Jets, their ceiling, I have them, and I feel like this is a little high as well. I have them at 5-12. I have their floor at 3-14. It's just really going to come down to how Justin Fields is going to gel with that new team. I think, like I said, the Jets can be improved. They've got Breece Hall. They've got Garrett Wilson. Defensively, Sauce Gardner, as I said, just signed an extension. They have a decent team. They've got to have the right people at the helm, and it's going to come down to how that's going to play out. So, but that is the AFC East. I might come back. I may not get to it today. I might do it tomorrow. We will break down the AFC North, then we'll do the South, then we'll do the West, and then we'll do the same thing for the NFC with the East, North, South, and West. So, excuse me. But anyway, that's going to wrap this video up, guys. Again, like I said, apologize. I am confined to recording on my phone right now until my internet issue gets resolved, which, like I said, I'm praying gets resolved on Friday afternoon between 1 and 4 p.m. I won't be home until after 2. And there's one of my cats. That is, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, my little one? But anyway, guys, that'll wrap this video up. I'll try to get another video up today. If I don't get a chance to, I will get the next video up tomorrow morning when I get up, because I do have to close the next 2 days before I'm off on Thursday. So that being said, take care. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you would. Pretty please. It does help the channel immensely. And with that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next video.